You've probably spent hours trying to learn meta ads, testing new images, headlines, lead forms, and nothing. No calls, no appointments, no deals, just crickets. And it's not that meta ads don't work, it's just most real estate ads are built completely wrong. You've probably noticed that it's very easy to get a lot of attention, a lot of leads, but you lack the leads that actually want to take action. So in this video, I'm gonna break down an active ad strategy that we're currently running for one of our partnering real estate agents to generate them an additional 2 to 3 deals every single month so that you can just copy and paste it into your real estate business. What this video is going to run you over is how you can start generating your own leads, right? There's a ton of different ways to do this. Cold calling teams, door knocking teams, mailers, the whole 9 yards, cold email, cold SMS, whatever you want to call it. But by far from what we have seen, the most predictable, the most scalable is meta ads. If you don't have money to throw at meta ads, then honestly, that's a completely different issue. If you don't believe in meta ads, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot. There's a ton of opportunity, a ton of potential, a ton of ROI in meta ads. If you don't believe that they work, then honestly, that is a you problem. You got to figure that out. You got to go, back to the drawing board and figure out why you think that way, because there is hundreds of millions of dollars spent on meta every single year in the real estate industry, and that's not because they don't work, right? You probably just aren't good at running meta ads, or you had a bad experience in the past. And so in this video, we're basically going to run over how, as a real estate agent in 2025 leading into 2026, you can use meta ads to start generating your own leads. Alrighty, so enough talking, let's actually dive in here. So as we can see, we have ran a ton of tests for this partnering agent, but the top one that we are running is this one here. So this is the only one we're going to pay attention to. Has over $2,000 in spend on this campaign. It's going to have a bunch of data, and we're obviously running this for a reason, because it is performing the best. So if we come into this campaign, and mind you, this isn't going to be a very, very, very beginner video. This is going to be a pretty intermediate Facebook ads, meta ads tutorial. There's tons of beginner videos out there. This is basically just going to be showing you, as we're managing over 6 figures in ad spend every single month, our exact strategy. Okay, I'm not going to run you into the intricate every single setting. This is basically just going to be our layout and our strategy. And if you have any questions, you can drop them down in the comments, or you can book a call with our team if you just want us to do this for you. That link will be down in the description. But basically, we have one campaign level. We are using campaign budget. So if we come in here to edit, you can see we're using campaign budget. Underneath the campaign, we have 2 ad sets. We're testing narrow and broad. So the reason we want to do this is because once you actually start testing different targeting mechanisms, you will see a, sometimes dramatic difference in a specific targeting mechanism. So here we can see that the broad targeting strategy actually had half the lead cost as the narrow targeting strategy. And also too, you have to go look at, where most of your deals coming from as well, not just the meta ads dashboard, because let's say, sure, it's 2 times cost per lead, right? We're looking at a 2x cost per lead here, but what if like 66% of the deals are coming from here? Well, then technically it's actually better to be spending on the narrow ad set than this ad set, right? So you still need to be tracking that back-end data. Where are my quality conversations coming from? Where are my deals coming from? But if we're just looking at the meta ads dashboard here right now, we can clearly see that the broad strategy is performing a lot better than the narrow strategy. Now, for our partnering agents, the number one metric we pretty much look at is cost per result, because NAR has came out with the statistics, right? 1 to 2, maybe 3% of online leads ever actually convert. So it's a huge numbers game. Same if you've ever done mailers, same if you have a cold calling team, you're door knocking. You really just want to do as much volume as humanly possible to make sure that you succeed, right? And to make sure that you see a return on your investment. And so we typically want to look at where the lowest cost per result is coming from. And so here we can see that it's actually broad. So if we come into broad, you will see that we were testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ads underneath here. And if we go to narrow, we'll see the exact same thing, right? So basically what we're doing, I'm going to click on narrow here. You'll see that we actually duplicated the exact same ads, because if you're testing different ads under different ad sets, how are you going to know which one is performing better, right? You won't know if it was the ad set making the difference or the ad. And so although our lower cost per results were actually coming from the broad ad set, later down the road after more testing, it looks like the narrow ad set actually had some lower cost per leads here. So we can see 6, 4, and this one actually hadn't spent enough budget to actually get any results yet. And realistically, we want to turn this one off because we typically don't want to be breaching over a $6 cost per lead for our partnering agents. You can see once that happens, we typically turn these off. That's why campaign budget works really well, because you test a bunch of different ads and then you just turn off the ones that are breaching above your average cost per result. And Facebook will automatically start optimizing the campaign for you. But basically, to show you this strategy in full works, one campaign, 2 ad sets, and then underneath those ad sets, we're basically duplicating the ads that we're running. And what this is going to do is it's going to basically give us a very clear, oh, okay, these ads are clearly performing better than these ads. So if we come here, we can see our top performing ads are 1, 2, 3 of them don't have enough data yet. So what we're going to do is this one mainly right here is we're going to let us spend until we do get data. But we can see this one here is clearly standing out. Sub $5 cost per lead. This one here is obviously another amazing one. We're looking at 323 leads. Probably turn this one back on because clearly it had a good track record, and the average cost per lead over 323 leads was only $5. So we can clearly see this is one of our big winners here. This is the one that just like took off. Like this is, and that's the importance of, in our strategy, the number one thing that we do is we test a ton of different stuff so that we can see what's going to work best in a market. We don't just want to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. We want to actually, go based on data. What you can see here is we're also only testing downsizing offer, right? Because after all this testing in his market, from all these other campaigns, we basically found that downsizing was the best angle where he was getting most of his transactions from. And so we just want to go all in on downsizing, but testing a bunch of different creatives, right? So every single one of these ads is a different creative. If we just pop it up here, we can see, boom, we're changing weather. We're making it look like more AI. Look, this one's a bit more realistic, ambient lighting in the woods. This one here, very, very similar style there, a bit of a more modern ranch style home look, right? So the number one thing we actually saw that this depends if people are clicking on an ad is actually the house image on the front page. And so we want to test as many different variants of images as possible. And clearly this one caught wind. So, this property here, if it'll let me hover over it, this property here, this more modern ranch style home with the wood and the black roof, this was catching a lot of people's attention. And then basically what happens once an ad catches someone's attention is they look at the copy. Then if the copy sells them, they go to the headline. If the headline sells them, they then click on the ad to give us their information for whatever the offer is. This is going to be a list of 1-level homes. And essentially, when you use a specific offer like that, so typically our main offers are new construction, downsizing, home evaluation. When you use a specific offer, you're going to get a specific type of person in the door, right? If you do, new construction, you're going to obviously people looking for new construction. If you're going to do downsizing 1-level homes, you're going to get that more so elderly person who might have a property looking to sell that they actually need to downsize. They just can't do the upkeep anymore. There's a real motivation there. Opposed to just doing an organic homes list, you're going to get a lot of looky-loos, a lot of tire kickers more so. But when you do an actual specific offer to a specific type of person, you get that specific type of person in the door, which basically is going to eliminate a lot more of those tire kicker people that don't know what they want, right? So basically, all in all, that is our entire strategy. If you don't know meta ads, this is probably going to be a little bit confusing for you. So what I would recommend is we have a more beginner video. We'll pop it up somewhere. A more beginner video actually running over the intricate part of every single step within the ads process, the campaign level, the ad set level, the ads level for our entire strategy. And then basically what you want to do is on a high level overview, you want it to look like this. So basically one campaign, 2 ad sets, maybe 3 ad sets if you want to test like relocation from a different city or something. And then underneath the ads level, you want to usually print about like 8 to 12 different ads and then duplicate those across the ad sets. And then basically what you're going to do is start getting a bunch of numbers. And what you want to look at is, what ads, yes, have the lowest cost per result. But if you don't have enough data for cost per result yet, you can always look at click-through rates, right? So if we come to like CTR all, and we go highest to lowest, you'll see that typically the highest CTRs are going to be the lower cost per results as well, right? So we can see this one has a 6.5. So what this means is 6.5% of people that see this ad are clicking on it. And then what link click-through rate means is X percentage of people that see this ad are actually clicking the learn more button on it to opt into the ad. So let's say of this ad here, 3.6% of people that actually came across the ad were clicking the learn more button, right? And so you can also pay attention to these metrics as well. Typically, if click-through rates are low, your image isn't very good. If you have a lot of clicks, but you're not getting a lot of people to fill out the form, like this 5% here, that usually means that your lead form has too much friction, and things along those lines. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into running a successful meta ads campaign. And most real estate agents, they go out there, they either try it themselves 1 or 2 times, or they use an agency. And it really takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money and testing to actually find what works. And so that's why most agents, they just come to us, because we're managing over 6 figures in ad spend monthly. We just already have the data. We know what works in pretty much every single market across the US. And if we haven't found something that works in your market yet, then we actually won't partner with you, because we do everything on a performance basis. And if we can't help you, we don't get paid and you don't stay with us, right? So if you are interested in trying out meta ads, giving it another shot, or trying it for the first time, because it does work, you probably just weren't doing it right, or you went with a bad company that just didn't know what they were doing, there will be a link down in the description to book a call with me or someone from my team. We'll help you out. We'll show you our entire strategy, and we'll only partner with you if it makes sense from both ends of the table. So other than that, that's going to be this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Share with a friend or colleague if you think this was helpful. And yeah, book a call if you think we can help. If not, no worries. Keep enjoying the free content. Our goal is to help agents implement their own systems. And so, it's a win for me on this channel if even just one agent is going out trying to implement their own systems, implementing their own lead gen, implementing their own call team, implementing their own back-end systems, because that's how you are actually going to grow in the real estate business year over year, instead of just relying on SOI, repeat referrals. It's the best type of business you can get, right? But it's the best because it's usually just free and it's easy, it comes to you. And so for that, it's up and down business. If you don't want up and down business, if you're a part of the community that wants to grow year over year, you've got to implement your own systems. All right, see you guys in the next video, and thanks.